She said, I want to be all masculine, baby, because it's 2022 and it's the feminist agenda.
Talk that play everything
now! The Predator came down and got dropped off on Comanche land to rejuvenate the Predator series, to erase all of the painful entries after part 2. Did he succeed? What is going on, YouTube? It is Lord Bernhard TV at Play Everything Now. I just watched Prey 2022. This is the prequel to Predator. So this is technically the first Predator. And he's landing in Comanche land to do battle, to hunt some of the best. Let's talk about this film. Is it worth it? Is it a pass? Let's go. So first of all, we want to get in here and talk about the actors in the movie. This film is directed by Dan Trachtenberg, screenplay by Patrick Elson, story by Patrick Elson and Dan Trachtenberg. It's based on characters by Jim Thomas, John Thomas, produced by John Johnson, starring Amber Mid-Hunter, Dakota Beavers, Michelle Thrush, and that's all we need because you know what? We got to get the cinematographer in here, Jeff Cutter. He was good. Shout out to him the way it was filmed. But this is all about Amber Mid-Hunter, who played Naru, who was a skilled Comanche warrior. But they didn't think she was. But deep down in her heart, she knew in her mind, she said, I'm a hunter. I'm not a cook. I ain't gonna take care of no kids. I ain't gonna wash no clothes. I ain't gonna be that feminine energy. She said, I wanna be all masculine, baby, because it's 2022 and it's the feminist agenda. But that's what she said. But she pulled the damn thing off. She pulled it off. She pulled it off and I loved it. Once I saw her as the main character, I'm not gonna lie. When I saw the trailer, I was like, damn, I'm about to throw up in my mouth, man. They taking this too far. They taking the muscles and the testosterone out of the film because when you go back to Predator 1, you had Arnold, Diesel, all kinds of Diesel dudes walking around, busting big guns. You know, that was a man film. Predator was a man's film. How could they do that to us and put a female in it? But it was executed perfectly. I have to tell you, I know some of you guys are still mad about that, but I'm telling you, Amber Mid-Thunder did her thing. Kudos to her. She did a great job. She carried the film. Between her, the Predator, and what's his name? Let me go back to the name list. Dakota Beavers, who played a fellow tribesman, who was the head hunter in the group. The three of them really just synergized together and carried the film. But Mid-Thunder, playing Naru, she was a star. She was a star. Phenomenal acting right off the bat from everybody in the film, but especially her. And so you may have asked, so what is this film briefly about without me ruining it for you if you haven't seen it already? Well, you already know it's the Predator. The Predator is a humanoid alien type coming from the planet somewhere, and he likes to hunt. You know, he goes from planet to planet hunting to find a new challenge. And this is what he did. And he came here and he found a challenge in the name of Naru, who gave him a challenge. And boy, it was a good ride. It was a good ride. The film is actually 100 minutes as well. So the Predator's here doing his thing, observing and taking human life as well, and chopping and holding up skulls, scalping, you know, doing his thing. The Predator's just being the Predator. So how did Naru get involved with the Predator? This epic battle of testosterone and estrogen. Now, I'm stirring the pot. Play Everything Now was just stirring that woke agenda pot right now. So anyway, pretty much her mother, guardian, wanted her pretty much to just, you know, be safe, stay at home, be the nurturer of the village, the clothes, cooking, you know, take care of the children, you know, the food, all of that type of stuff, you know, feminine, you know. But Naru, she wanted none of that. She wanted to be out in the fields with the men, tussling and wrestling and just getting rough and getting dirty and muddy. That's what she wanted. But, you know, there was not resentment, but there was sort of like a pushback where like, no, we don't want you out here. You're no good. You're a weak link. And she's like, no, I'm not. But Naru had a particular skill, and the skill was tracking. She was a phenomenal tracker with her dog. She could track anything, and she was also a good medic as well. So she was very useful in the field. So this confrontation between her and the Predator is set up in that dynamic where she convinced them to go out there to rescue fellow tribal that did not come back to the village. And eventually they found that gentleman. She given some good medical aid and all of that good stuff, and showed that she had leadership skill and she had quality. And upon doing this, she realized, because she's a tracker, that something was out of place. Some animals were scalped and cut, and she realized that a regular animal out here is not really going to do something like that to an animal. So she knows something's off. She saw footprints and she said, "Oh, this is not regular. This is not something regular. Like, this is different." And they laughed at her and joked at her and blah, 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 blah. So Tabi, her fellow mate out there, the headhunter, the one with all the medals and all the stripes, told everybody else to pretty much just go home. Go home. I'll stay out here and see what's going on with your little. There's something out here. Making fun of her. But eventually they embark upon like a jaguar, and the jaguar, appears to got the best of her. And she ended up getting knocked out, and they brought her back to the village. She doesn't really know what happened. And she woke up. And eventually she ends up going back out there because she's going out there to practice. And once again, and upon that, it's failure because that she got knocked out in that little altercation with the jaguar. Even though she did something that was responsible for what the outcome of the Tabi getting, elevated. But you can watch that and see. So she gets up and she wants to go back out there. She wants to, what happened? She said, "Listen, your Tabi brought you back." And that kind of made her look bad, like she failed the hunt, that she wasn't able to do it. And that hurt her deep. She said, "Hell no." That hurt her deep. So she eventually went back out there and practiced hunting. She learned new weapon techniques, and we saw what she can do, the agility that she had. But nothing that she really did was like let me not say unrealistic. But nothing that she really did was not out of the range of her feminine frame. She was very agile. She was quick. It showed weaknesses. She was taking blows. She was getting thrown around. And she had to use her mind and her leverage and her smarts. And eventually, while she was out there, she confronted, or she saw the Predator. She saw. And she also heard as well, man. And I'll leave it at that part right there. But let's talk about the emergence of the Predator. Bruh. When the Predator came on screen, all they show was the little camouflage, so you don't really see him. But when you see the Predator, OMG, I was like, yeah, man. And there's an iconic part that I just cannot get out of my mind, is when, spoiler alert, not a complete spoiler, but there's a part of the action. There's a part that was very iconic to me, is when the Predator, he lifted up the bear, bro. Oh, man, he had that bear in a freaking Ultimate Warrior. Oh, yeah. Just held him up there like, yeah. He just threw him, boom. That was the truth, man. That was like, honestly, one of my favorite parts of the film. When I saw that, I was like, yeah, Predator series is back. The Predator is back. And let's piggyback and just roll that into the action of the film. The action in this film was perfect. It was brutal. And that's what we wanted. We didn't want any cookie cutter cut scenes, cutting things out. Nah, it was raw. It was heads getting busted, people losing limbs. You had gunshots going off between another invaders on the land were there. Colonizers was there as well. The action was just good. Very well. The choreograph was great. And it wasn't like a martial arts fest. It was brutal. Just like raw action, just beat over the head caveman style type action. And the Predator was brutal. And the weapon execution, brutal. So it gets 5 stars for the action, 5 stars for the acting, 5 stars for the cinematography. The story, I will give it I don't know. I can't really give the story. The story is what it is. It's the Predator. It fitted. It wasn't some complicated story. It was pretty predictable, but it wasn't boring. It was an enjoyable film. So I can't slight it. I'll give the story a 4. Maybe they could have got a little deeper with it, but this is a 4 out of 5, by the way. They could have got a little maybe deeper with it and make you think, but who wants to think on a film like this? We just want action. We want to see the Predator. We want to see action. We want to see the hunt. And that is what they brought to this film. This is what the director did with this film. He brought and he gave exactly what the fans wanted, in my opinion. A lot of you wanted a male protagonist, I know. But overlook that and realize that the way the story was written and utilized the female in this, it was perfect. I gotta give them props on that. I can't hate on it. I know we're in the woke generation. I know what's going on with all of that stuff. I get it. But this film definitely did not suffer by that minor change. And who said that women can't hunt anyway? And women can hunt, so she did her thing. Kudos to her and kudos to the director for that. Listen, go get your Hulu subscription. If you don't have a Hulu subscription, go get the free trial and watch this. Go to your friend's house and watch this. I enjoyed this. I was entertained like I was in the gladiator arena. Are you not entertained? I'm giving this 4 out of 5. And it only gets a 4 out of 5 because I think they could have put their brains together and probably just made the story a little bit less predictable. But it served its purpose. I enjoyed it regardless. Let's go.